Let's make sure the audio or the stream is up as it should be before we go any further. Just to make sure. There it is. Let me make sure my audio is working though real quickly. Audio is working as it should be. That's good to see. So the stream's up, the chat's up, and we're all good to go. Absolutely fantastic. Well, hello everyone and welcome to round 4 of the America Open Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Katie927, your lead commentator for tonight's event, and this time we are racing at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez for the Mexican Grand Prix. This track is located within the capital city of Mexico in Mexico City. The track first broke ground in 1959 and it hosted its first ever Grand Prix in Formula 1 in 1962. It would then continue on to host Formula 1 racing till 1992 for about 30 years. And then we had to wait another little while until 2015 when they brought back Formula 1 to this very circuit. And ever since then, since 2015, it has been the home to the Mexican Grand Prix. This track is also the highest in terms of altitude as well here in the Formula 1 calendar, with a sea level of just about over 7,350 feet above sea level. So normally in the real life sort of spectrum, the teams would have to worry about basically having the max downforce as possible because of all the air and the altitude that would stress on the cars. Thankfully for the driver's sake, they don't have to worry about such a thing here in the virtual world. This track consists of 2.674 miles and 17 turns and 3 DRS zones. One that leads down the main straightaway leading into turn 1. The other one is leading at the exit of turn 3 that goes into turn 4, and then finally the exit of turn 11 that leads into the stadium section of turn number 12. Turns 1, 4, and 12 are the more primary overtaking spots here on this sort of racetrack. The drivers though will have to keep in mind though about this sort of racetrack is that it's a very technical bit of racetrack as well. It's very demanding as well. Very high speed corners as well around here. It's more particular turns 7 through 11. The high speed S's. The cars are going to be on the edge of grip, and also you're going to have to try to max out the racing line as much as possible. Now from a point of view as well, since I've been on both pad and wheel, I could definitely tell you the difference between those are night and day when you race around here in Mexico City. So yeah, this is going to be mostly a wheel track for anyone that's on the wheel. If you're on pad, well, I wish you the best of luck. That's all I'm gonna say. Now the two DRS detection points you may notice on the racetrack, there is one that leads at the exit of turn 15. The other one is located at turn 7. So that's basically where, so even though this track only has 3 DRS zones, only one DRS detection zone, or detection zone has 2 DRS zones enabled. Now, before we go fully focused on qualifying, there is a little bit of news to go through first from last week's race at Portugal. Of course, I wasn't here for that because of the Super Bowl, so I wasn't around. So, there are 2 incident reports, both of them by the same driver, featuring Jacob and Bumpton. The first one was a no further action. However, the second one was a penalty awarded to Bumpton. As a result, he was given a 10-second time penalty and a license point. And I don't think it would change also the classified results. So pretty much I think the results stand as it was from last week's race. So currently leading the championship is Jacob on 55 points, followed by Tom in second with 43 points, 12 points separating the top 2. Then it's Black Ball in third with 39, followed by Sparty in fourth with 38 points. Blotman is in fifth with 36, followed by Sturf in sixth with 30. Cole, who is a reserve, is tied with him as well with 30 points, followed by Take Her Easy in 8th with 28 points. Rocket and Lamar in 9th with 26, and then Jack rounds off 10 with 24 points. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren are leading with 63 points, followed by Alpine in second with 58. Then Haas are in third with 55. AlphaTauri in fourth with 49. Red Bull Racing in fifth with 43. Mercedes in sixth with 41. Alfa Romeo in seventh with 35. Aston Martin 34 in eighth. Ferrari in ninth with 29. And then Williams rounds it off with 15 points. Now that we got that out of the way, we can now fully focus on qualifying. Now, this is also the first sprint of the season as well here on Race Spec Esports. So, basically what this sort of scenario is, if you're new to this, in the sprint format, for short qualifying, it's 18 minutes, obviously, but the drivers only are occupied to 3 soft tire compounds. But however, you do get 2 sets of mediums. At least you get 1 for the sprints, and of course for the main race. And top 10 do score points here in the sprint format. So there is some points at stake, but also determine your qualifying position, of course. So meanwhile, as we got some times on the board, currently we have Blockman on top with a 1 minute 16.788. Then it's followed by Rocket and Lamar with a 1:17.8, followed by Sergeant Bill with a 1:18 flat. Then Sharky, same thing, 1:18 flat. Style Harmony with an 18.4. Motion God with a 18.5, and same with Flavius with an with an 18.8, and Ronan as well with an 18.8. Surf meanwhile, who goes to second with a 1 minute 17.4. He was also last week's race winner, if I recall, from Portugal, gaining his very first win of the season. So congrats to him as well. Of course, like I said, I wasn't there for that because, yeah, I was out and about during Super Bowl Sunday. I was honestly surprised that they managed to let this go ahead, even though it was, yeah, of course, like a big day in American sports, but yeah, you never know. Faraday goes third with a 1:17.2. That's followed by Mick, I think that's his name, Mick or Mike, I'm not sure, I'll just say you're Mick. 1:17.040 as Motion God, I think, has crashed out or something. There is a car going slowly at the S's, so he's, well, let me see. Professor Phil's about to arrive to the scene of the Aston Martin. There he is there. He's retired at the Marshall post. I guess he must have retired on track, because I did notice his car was still moving. Oh, okay. Whatever, I guess. But anyway, while we're on board with Professor Phil, he's on an out lap, and we'll give you a lap guide here around Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez. Around the final corner, and he'll plunge his way down the main straightaway. We got yellow flag in sector 2 for Mercedes-Benz. Down the main straightaway, DRS wide open. Now, of course, with this sort of DRS zones, you've got long straights, so straight line speed will be key. Max speed for Professor Phil, 207 miles per hour. Into turn 1, then turn 2 to second gear. Keeps in second, then short shifts up to third, then up to fourth on the exit of turn 3. Heading down towards now turn 4, again with the DRS wide open, down the second DRS straight, and apparently purple as well to the middle first sector, sorry. Through turn 4, then turn 5, second gear all around, keep hugging the inside apex. Around turn 6, as Jack now goes to the top of the table with a 1:15.5. Man, 1.2 seconds quicker than Blockman. Around turn 7, then turn 8. Oh yeah, see, you gotta be like really close to those curves there in the S's. It's so high speed and so demanding. It really demands you to use every ounce of those curves. It's so annoying too at the same time. To the stadium section, second gear, around turn 14, then 15, up to 16, and then turn 17, which is right about there, the final corner, and he'll come up to the line to set a 1 minute 18.369. Of course, he did lose a fair bit of time there coming around the middle sector. Meanwhile, there is a McLaren out as well on track. That was Tom that passed by Professor Phil as he goes around turns 1, 2, and then 3, third gear. Nicely done there by Tom, making his way down the second DRS straight up towards turn 4. There's yellow flags, that's just for cars getting out of the way down the main straight. Down towards turn 4, third gear. Unlike we saw Professor Phil who did it in second, now he goes to second gear through turn 5. Up the gears, now back down to second through turn 6, then third on the exit of turn 6. are now heading up to the high-speed S's. Turn 7, then turn 8, and then turn 9. 6th gear. Tries to keep the car pinned. Doesn't want to compromise his run through the S's. Looks like he did that pretty well, I'd say. Now heading up towards now the stadium section. Turn 12 into the baseball stadium. 3rd gear. Back up the gears, then head to the hairpin at turn 14. Then to turn 15, and then heading into turns 16 and 17. Around the final couple of turns. Around Manselcore, as it's called. Where he pulled that famous move on Gerhard Berger. And Tom now goes to 3rd on the table with a 1 minute 16.491. Or 16.5 essentially. Nico also went up to the top 5, did a 1 minute 16.702. Blockman also has just improved on his lap. He did a 1 minute 16.126. As Sergeant Bill looks like he's had a moment there coming out of turn 11. He was on the right side of a racetrack. He gets going again though. Now the only thing too as well that I haven't mentioned yet is about because this is a sprint format, there's not really much track rubber that the drivers will have to that will not be used, well, don't really necessarily have compared to what they have in a normal qualifying session, because it simulates that you did a practice session and then that's it, because that's what a sprint format normally is in real life. I mean, like, even though we've given this game so much crap over the time period, there is one bit of credit that they have simulated something like that. Because there is a car on the grass as well as Surf has been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. I think that was him coming through I think that was him at turn 6. Yeah, that was. Let me see. That was the that's an AlphaTauri coming by. No, that's the other AlphaTauri. With Black Bullet. He was right down there at the exit of turn 6. Meanwhile, Black Bullet hasn't validated his lap. But yeah, no, he must have, because I noticed there was a car in the middle of the grass at turn 6. I was about to mention that before he got disqualified. Alright, so Nico looks like he's about to get ready, I think, for his flying lap here. Or, well, he's got 43%, I think. Yeah, no, there's no way. He validated his lap time. I wasn't sure if he was actually on a proper lap or something. Jack, meanwhile, he's getting ready for a flying lap very shortly. Veritas, I think, has done his lap already. He's at a 1:16.478. We still have a few times yet to be set on the board. Subflime hasn't validated his lap time, so he'll have to try again. Take it easy. It looks like he is still on a proper flying lap. Coming around the final couple of turns, heading through turn 16, 17. To the line he comes to set a 19.254. Rebellion, meanwhile, coming through turn 5, heading up towards turn 6. Gotta hug that inside apex as much as you can. You do not want to break yourself. You don't want to miss the apex there coming out of turn 6. Heading through now the high-speed S's of turn 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. As the yellow flags are out, his Rebellion has invalidated his lap. So he will have to try again. He's still got time to do so. Jack, meanwhile, coming up towards now the first sector split. Currently on pole with a 1 minute 15.5, the only driver in the 1 minute 15s, and he is up, but not by much, only by 10,000ths of a second to the first sector. Out of turn 5, heading then up to turn 6, keeping it in 4th gear, I should say. There's a Mercedes, they're getting out of the way. I think that might be Sharky. Heading through turn 7, 8, 9, and then 10 and 11. Just seeing how much commitment we committed way too much there at turn 10. Used too much of the curve and has invalidated his lap. And he wasn't up anyway on his time. He was down by about 50 thousandths to the middle sector. Either way, this lap won't even count for his sake. Someone just came across the line. I think that was Subflime. Yes, it was. With a 1 minute 16.6. He's just about a 10th and a half behind Tom and the other McLaren. Currently, these two are leading the Constructors' Championship right now in the America Open Series. Yeah, from my time also racing them in Tier 1 of the America Series, they seem to be the more consistent bunch. Of course, Tom, from what I've been seeing, has been the quickest McLaren out of the, out of the whole bunch. I think Sublime might might get motivated for me saying that. But, yeah, that's just kind of what I've been seeing so far. And, of course, a little bit from what I've been seeing. But they are very consistent. Suffolime, I will say, is a consistent driver. Same with Tom as well. Very good on race pace as well, especially. He is very, very handy on race pace. Yellows are out. That's just for, I think, Suffolime may be out of fuel? Yeah. Yeah, and whenever the icon happens, that tells me he's out of fuel. And, it looks like he's going to get maybe a tow, I think, from the Mercedes. It looks like if Tom's going to be going for a run. So I'm guessing this will be Tom's final lap. There's still Sector 3 yellow flag. I can't even see the damn clock. He's getting a healthy slipstream from the Mercedes in front. I don't know which one that is, but he's got a healthy slipstream. 210 miles an hour as it reaches through turn 1, and then into turn 2, then into turn 3, third gear. Nicely done there through turns 1 and 2. 2 and 3, actually, I should say. Open DRS aimed down the other DRS straight. He's up by over 2.5 tenths to the first sector. Heading through turn 5, up towards now turn 6. Third gear down to second. And short shifts up to third to find any sort of traction he can find at the exit of turn 6. Now heading up towards turn 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's too much curb. Out. He has spun out there at the exit of turn 9. Towards the entry of turn 10. I'm guessing that was... Oh, Sparty. That explains a little bit. Maybe... Or was it Sharky? I'm sure it was Sharky. It was Sharky. Yeah. Makes a little bit of sense, I guess. I guess Xbox players helping Xbox players. As now we got sector 1, 2, and 3 yellows for whatever reason. Black Bull looks like he'll be getting ready, I think. Lil Mike, he's up by nearly a tenth through the first sector, heading up towards turn 5, then heading up to turn 6, and then down to second gear, hugging the inside apex. Does a lot of short shifting, kept it in second gear at the exit of turn 6. Up towards now turn 7, 8, 9, and then 10 and 11. 6th gear. Feathering the throttle a little bit. You see him lifting there on the telemetry as he makes his way down towards the middle sector split, and he's up by nearly a tenth and a half to the middle sector. With this sort of time, he could challenge for at least 6th, I think. Around the final quarter now. And now back onto the main straightaway. Foot to the floor, cross the line. It's up to P7 with a 1 minute 16.9 as Tom has retired. So that is the end of his qualifying session. Blockman looks like he'll be getting ready. Jack behind him is getting ready as well. Verdis as well. He's also on an outlap. So the closest driver to Jack right now is Blockman, but he's not in the 15s yet. He's still in the 16s. He's got a 1:16.126 as he makes his way down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Peak speed, what will we see from the Alpine? 207, 208, 209 as he reaches down towards turn 1. Third gear. Now brings it down to second gear. Short shifts up to third. Using the full width of the circuit there. Sparty is retired from the session. Up towards the middle sector, first sector split. Clock says he's up by about 37 thousandths of a second to the first sector. Second gear. Around turn 5. Then heading up to turn 6. Then goes back down to second again. Finding the full rotation. Finding as much traction as he can out of turn 6. Up towards turn 7. Goes down to 5th. 6th gear. Using all the curve as much as he can. And then heading up towards the 10 and 11. Oh, maybe missing the apex there too much. And invalidate. That is definitely the end of his qualifying. Meanwhile, Verdes is starting his flying lap. Jack is down by a tenth of a second. Nico is down by 2/10 of a second to the first sector. So for Lime, he's coming up to the first sector split. There's cars littered all over the track. As Subfalime comes to the first sector split, and he's down by 18 thousandths, but he's close to try and maybe challenge as Blockman goes into the pits and retires. Unfortunately, that is his qualifying over. Jack has invalidated his second lap, so this one will definitely not count. So that's his qualifying over. Verdis, though, has got a Mercedes in front. Thankfully, he gets out of the way. As Nico, he's up by now 60, nearly 60 thousandths to the middle sector as he makes his way around the final corner. Up to 17. To the line he comes. We'll set a 1:16.318. Only good enough for third. Verdes is backed out of the lap, so that lap won't matter for him anyway. Subfalime about to cross the line, and it is P4 for Subfalime, a 1:16.438. Good to see that he made me a ridiculous amounts of you know what. Why on earth is there so many cars all over the place there? Rebel goes into the pit lane, he retires, he's currently 8th, and that's where he's going to be for the sprint. Alright, so with that, qualifying is definitely over. Jack is on pole position by nearly 6/10 of a second, I think that is. Yeah, 6/10 of a second. Separated between him and Jack with a 1:15.536 that he set on his very first lap. Little Mike goes in the tires, of course. A bit of an unorthodox end of qualifying, but still not bad overall. Nico, though, getting a good improvement, moving himself up into third. Sublime getting ahead of Verdes and his teammate as well. So he'll be starting 4th on the grid for the sprints. Alright, I guess we're just going to wait a little bit until anyone goes in, and obviously tires, I guess. Alright, so Sparty has also informed me just now that it's going to be dry all around. So that's good news to see. I just noticed Blockman's little Discord description. Playing Track Limit Simulator 22. That's funny. Yeah, I get it with this circuit. It is very brutal with track limits. Alright, so here's the format for the grid for the sprint. Jack on pole, followed by Blockman, Nico, Subfalime, Verdes, Tom, Lil Mike, Rebel, Blockbola, Professor Phil, Rocket and Lamar, Take Her Easy, Style and Harmony, Sergeant Bill, Sharky, Roden, Flavius, Sparty, Motion God, and Surf. Right. And race time. Now, like I did mention before in the intro, top 10 in the sprint format in Race Spec do score points. So, of course, not only that qualifying position is important, but also there are points on the line. Got a little bit of evening conditions. I mean, this is the sort of same conditions we had last night at Pacific Elite. With this sort of, the big ray of glare of sun. I mean, it kind of makes sense why it's like that. I'm pretty sure it's unrealistic. Well, it has to be. That's what we normally use it on. Yeah, because I would think it probably simulates it that it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in Mexico. I mean, for the game, that is. There's the countdown clock. Lobby updated for some reason. Now, I probably will assume majority of the drivers on the grid will start on the medium tire. The soft tires definitely will not be the more favorable race tire. I mean, it'll be good for the entire race, the sprint race, but it definitely won't be good towards the end. I know that. Alright. Well, we're getting underway shortly. Well, let's take a look and see what everyone is on. Well, it's definitely not a mix compared to what I saw last night in Pacific Elite. It's every single person on the medium tires, as I expected. No one on the softs whatsoever. That's right, so we don't really need that tire graphic. We could just leave that blank. All we need is just the intervals. Well, and also if I remember from pole last night in Pacific Elite, the pole time was like, I think it was a 1:15.2 that was set by ACW. I think that was the third pole out of 4 races so far. Yeah, no, he's been one of the qualifying maestros in the Elite Series. So he kind of beats off Jack's time by about 0.3. So there you go. All right, so we'll go over the grid one more time. So we've got Jack on pole, followed by Blockman, then Nico, then Sub for Lime, Veritas, Tom, Mike, Rebel, Black Bulla, Professor Phil, Rock LMR, Take Her Easy, Style and Harmony, Sergeant Bill, Sharky, Rodent, who has, oh dear, has spun in the S's. But he gets going again, that's the main thing. Flavius in 17th, Sparty in 18th, Motion Gun in 19th, who got no, he crashed out, I'm sorry. The 2 Aston Martins though in the back. Surf was the one that got disqualified when he parked in a dangerous location at turn 6. As Jack goes for a spin. Well, that's one way to warm up your tires there, I suppose. There you go. Well, at least he's got the tires warmed up. But unfortunately, he's disqualified himself for not parking correctly. Same with Styled Harmony. All right, well, here we go. It's time for the race here. For the sprint race, we got 5 red lights. And we are underway here in Mexico for the sprint race. It's a nice start by Jack. It's a nice start there by Nico as well. Getting a healthy slipstream. Heading down towards the first corner. Yellow flags are out. That's for Flavius not even moving as they make their way down towards turn 1. Jack covers everyone behind. Nico trying to go around the outside of Blockman into turns 2 and 3. We go. Blockman though has the inside line. Heading out of turn 3 down towards turn 4. Yellow flags are out. That's for Rebel and the other Alpine who's had a bit of a spin. Up towards turn 4 and down the inside goes Tom. What a superb start from him. From 6 on the grid, he's up to 3rd already. As he tries to get by Blockman, now he does. He's up into 3rd place. Blockman has dropped down to 4th off the start. Not a very great start there from Blockman in the Alpine. Sub for Lime didn't really have the greatest start either. He's lost about a couple of spots as well. Rebel, though, has been tumbling all the way down to 18th after being somewhere in the top 10, if I remember correctly. Veritas at 6th. Professor Phil is at a decent start as well. Up into 7th place right now, trying to get by Veritas. He's definitely not close enough to attack. As they make their way into the stadium section, out of the baseball stadium, and then out of the final corner to end lap 1 of 12. It's Jack that leads by 1.3 seconds at the end of the first lap. And in terms of positions gained, Thomas gained 3 places after starting 6th, like I mentioned. Blockman's lost 2. Professor Phil also gained 3 spots as Surf goes into the pit lane. He must have suffered some damage. Sharky, though, has gained 4 spots. Not a bad start there as well from the Mercedes driver. Rebel and Sergeant Bill are side by side, though. Heading through turns 1, then turns 2 and 3. Rebel, though, has the inside line, heading out of turn 3. And there is Motion Guard behind as well. He may want to get involved in this sort of action. It looks like Rebel, though, might be slightly ahead. Yes, he is, just about. He's still ahead of him into 15th place. Sorry about that, that was my phone. If you heard that. Oh, Professor Phil's had a moment there, coming out of turns 7 and 8. He's lost control, he's all the way down to 12th. He was in 7th, well, he's fighting for 7th, battling with Style Harmony. But unfortunately, it looks like he's got the short end of the stick. He's dropped all the way down to 12th because of that. Now, there is no DRS enabled just quite yet. That will be enabled, of course, on the next lap. As Jack sets fast lap. Now it's Blockman that sets fastest lap with a 1 minute 18.931. Making the way down towards turn 1. Tom's trying to close in on Nico. As Nico holding on at least for now. Heading through turn 1 and 2. Take her easy in Roden. Take her easy overtaking Roden at the main straight. They're side by side though. There's Rebel as well trying to get involved. Heading through turns 1 and 2. Oh, that's tight there between the 3 cars, making their way around turns 2 and 3. But it looks like Vern's got the better end of it. He's staying ahead into 13th. As Motion Gone, I think, is on a spin, I think. At the exit of turn 3. He's plummeting down now to 19th. Well, not a great start there for Aston Martin from what it looks like for Motion Gone and for Surf. Had a bad qualifying. That seems like they're having a bit of a shocker here at the sprint race as well. Tom within DRS range. The main thing he doesn't want to do is lose Nico. You don't want to be caught left out in this DRS sort of train. Yeah, because of how long these straights could be. It's very hard to get anything if you don't have DRS. As meanwhile, Rebel trying to go around the outside. Take her easy, trying to force Rebel off the circuit there, but Rebel is having none of it. He's staying ahead of him into 14th. As also Jack set another fast lap. Tom is closing in on the Williams of Nico. Oh, but gets pushed off to the left-hand side. He goes around the outside of turn 1. He makes it stick. What a move by the McLaren. He's now up into 2nd place. And he'll have DRS again because of only the one detection zone. Nico, though, it seems like he's got some speed. Even with Tom having DRS, he closed in with the battery on. But unfortunately, he didn't have enough straight line speed to get by the McLaren, of course. Jeez, that was a bit of a opportunistic move there by Tom. But somehow he made that work into turn 1, going around the outside. I mean, he didn't really need to do that, but I mean, it's a more preferred racing line here in this circuit, of course. So far, we got Tom in 2nd. Jack's kind of pulled away pretty much, so it's not a surprise. Knowing the pace of Jack, of course. Yellows, that is Mike, or Mick, whatever your name is. Spinning out at the S's at turn 11. He's all the way down now to 13th as Roden now gets by him. Now Nico will have DRS down the main straight, but does he got straight line speed compared to that McLaren in front of him? Not using any battery as well. He wants to play it smart. Well, he's not really big on resources from the way it looks. He's got 30%. Tom's now got the same story, but Blockman has a little bit more. He's got about 38%. Block Bola overtaking Stal Harmony there for 7th place. But you will have DRS advantage again. Try to pull away from the Alfa Romeo. Out of turn 5, heading down towards turn 6. It's right now just a 3-car train right now with Tom, Nico, and Blockman. So Valime might get involved in this if these guys continue to battle. He's only about 1.2 seconds behind Blockman, currently in P4. Out of turn 11, down towards turn 12. Nico's DRS, of course, not close enough to attack. Just has to stay behind, at least for now. Heading around the hairpin of turn 13. Yellows are out. Sharky has spun, this time at turn 11. Another car that has spun at turn 11, and there he... Oh, that is super tight. Oh, my goodness. Between him and Sergeant Bill, and someone has caused more yellow flags up front. Who is that? That's Sergeant Stal Harmony, the other Alfa Romeo. That spun at the final corner. Nico, meanwhile, closing in, not by enough to attack. Yellow flags are out again. This time, I think that is for Surf at the S's. Heading down towards now turn 4. DRS open for Nico and Blockman, but not close enough to attack. And I also noticed too, Blockman, he had his light on flashing in the back of his car, and yeah, he's low on resources. Probably had to use some to catch back up. Maybe he made a mistake somewhere when I wasn't paying attention to them, when I was focusing on the car. Sharky trying to get around the outside of Sergeant Bill. He'll have the inside line, but the line is compromised a little bit. Yellow flags are out as Nico's got a penalty, and that's Fairness has spun at the exit of turn 7, or turn 8, I think that is. As Sharky, I think, has also had another spin, this time at turn 6. Yeah, the one thing that Nico didn't want there was a 3-second time penalty. With this track, it is very, very brutal. Oh, as Nico has a moment there coming out of the final corner. My goodness. How on earth did he not spin out like that? I don't know. But Blockman has got a tremendous run. He looks to the right-hand side. Both cars have DRS, but Blockman has the better straight line speed from what it seems. And he's gone through. He's now up into third, ahead of Nico. Heading through turn 3. Now heading down towards the second DRS straight. Blockman, of course, will have DRS. Same with Nico. Trying to close in on on Tom, sorry. Sublime, though, is losing a bit of time, though, to Nico, thanks to them having DRS. He's about 2.1 seconds behind. Well, for Nico's sake, I think, what he needs to do now is, since he's got a 3-second time penalty over his head, probably just stick with the cars in front, because you don't want to lose any more positions, because if he does, then he's going to lose up one more to Sublime. He'll still be in the top 5, but I mean, I think if you're in his position, I think you would want to be in where you want to be. Out of the hairpin, around turn 14 and 15. Mick gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple points. Blockman, though, will have DRS down the main straight. Heading down towards the first corner. It's a long, long run to turn 1. And heading down to the main straight. He looks to the right-hand side. Tom covering the racing line as Jack now gets a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings for him now. So in case that there is a safety car that comes out, Jack could be a bit screwed, but he's got a 3.5 second margin as Professor Phil overtaking the Rocket LMR, or he's trying to, through turns 1 and 2 and 3, and I think he's got it done. And of course he'll have DRS just so he can pull away from the Red Bull. So what Tom needs to do now is close up by about half a second, basically, if he wants to claim pole for the sprint, or for the actual race itself. Sorry. Nico, though, has lost touch with Blockman a little bit. He's down by about nearly a second. 21%. Blockman's got 13. Oh, as Nico has a huge moment there coming out of the hairpin. He's now going to lose out DRS. Excuse me. He's definitely going to lose it now. Goodness me, I couldn't even say it out of my words. I was stuttering there. As Red Bull has retired, I think that's a crash for him, is it? That looks like it's the S's or something. Yeah, that's at the exit of turn 11. Tom Blockman side by side, heading through turns 2 and 3. Blockman will have the inside line heading towards the second DRS straight, and that will convert. Won't convert now as Blockman now goes ahead into second. Goodness me, I was like literally stuttering my words. Yeah, Nico though had a huge moment there coming out of the hairpin. As a result, his Blockman didn't have the exact same thing happen to him, losing a bit of the back end at the exit of turn 6. Yellow flags are out. That's Sergeant Phil. I think that's caused a bit of yellow flags. Up through now the S section. You can see Tom though does have some battery life on the dash. He's probably got about 40 odd percent, maybe 35%. 45%, 45%. That's very close. Around the final corner, back down to the main straightaway. We'll have 3 more laps to go here in the sprint race. 7 tenths, 8 tenths now between Blockman and Tom, but Tom will close that gap up thanks to the aid of DRS down this main straight. Blockman has no battery life to play with. Heading through turn 1, and then into turn 2, then into turn 3. See how much he can close up, see what kind of straight line speed he's got. Opens DRS, heading down towards turn 4. About 192 miles an hour as he reaches the braking zone. So it closed up quite a bit. He's got a bit of straight line speed, Tom does. Knowing my previous experience racing against him, he does, well actually, it's not really just him, but it's pretty much all the Xbox guys. They, for whatever reason, love to use straight line speed setups everywhere they go, no matter what track it is. Blockman though getting very good runs there coming out of the S's, and that'll increase the gap a little bit. Tom though closes it back up thanks to DRS. What Tom needs to do now is just basically get a good run out of this stadium section. If he could do that, He'll get DRS down the main straight and the second straight, and he can surely be able to get by Blockman. Yellow flags are out. Style Harmony is spun. Oh dear, that's time at turn 11. He is facing backwards. You don't want to go that far backwards. Thankfully, he gets that point in the right direction. He's plummeted down to 18th, and he's also going to destroy front wing. Tom not close enough to attack Blockman through turn 1 and 2 and 3. But he'll have another chance down the second straight, heading down towards turn 4. Doesn't use the battery though. Doesn't seem like he wants to do anything just quite yet. Sergeant Bill overtakes Sparty there for 13. And turn 6. I think I might have said this is the final lap. If I did, I don't remember if I did, but if I did, I'm sorry. Now we got 2 more laps to go. Oh, that's what happened. You barely forced feedback. Ouch. That's unfortunate there, Rebellion. Alright, so what Tom needs to do now, like I said before, let's take her easy, gets a 3-second time penalty. What Tom needs to do basically is get a good exit out of the same section, close up on Blockman, and yeah, use that DRS and the battery down the main straight and the second DRS straight, which he'll use now as we're on to the final lap. And here comes Tom, and I think this is going to be an overtake. Oh my goodness, look at the speed that McLaren has got. Blockman cannot do a thing about that. Not at all. He moves now up into second. Now Tom just needs to keep it clean. That's all he's got to do now. Just get through the stadium section, the S's, then get through the stadium section, and you're all good for second at least. Meanwhile, they're out in front. Oh, as I say that, Tom's now got a 3-second time penalty. Oh dear, he's went too much on the outside of turn 5, and he's got now a 3-second time penalty. Styled Harmony has retired from the session. Rocket LMR takes Mick. That is not what Tom needed there. A very big error there by him, going too wide at turn 5. Well, as a result, he's going to lose now to 3rd place. Jack, oh, hello, as the confetti flies. Jack comes across the line. He'll take home the sprint and the fastest lap. Of course, there is no point for any time you get fast lap, so it won't count. But he does get the full 10 points. Blockman will overtake Tom for 2nd place based off of penalties. And then Tom will finish in 3rd. Nico will finish in 4th place. Then it's Sublime in 5th with... And then Sublime in 5th, followed by Blockman in 6th. Then Veritas will finish in 7th place. Professor Phil will come across the line in 8th, followed by Rocket LMR, who's in a bit of a battle with Mick. Doesn't matter anyway, though, because he's got a penalty. So he will maintain that 9th place. Mick gets 10th. Take Her Easy will get 11th. And then Rodin will round it off in 12th. So Mick will get the final points scoring spot. Sparty moves up to 11th based off a penalty. Sharky goes to 14th. Flavius 15th. Motion Guard 16th, followed by Sergeant Bill. And then Surf will be the last one. I set up a profile with 120% force feedback for online. It's always weak online, but this is like, I didn't have any. Couldn't navigate through. Okay. So yeah, so even when you had so much feedback and for whatever reason the game couldn't register it. That's very interesting. That's quite unfortunate though. Sparty given driver of the day for the sprint race. And there are the grid. There's the grid now for the sprint race itself. Or goodness me. For the race itself, sorry. Jack gets pole, followed by Blockman, overtaking Tom on penalties. He'll start 3rd, followed by Nico, then Sublime, Black Bull, Averdis, Professor Phil, Rocket LMR, Mick, Sparty, Take Her Easy, Rodin, Sharky, Flavius, Motion God, Sergeant Bill, Surf, and Style Harmony, and Rebel. So yeah, Sparty went from 18th to 11th, gained about 7 places over the course of that sprint race. There you go. Alright, so now it's time for the main race. So the main race we will have 36 laps instead of the 12 laps that we had earlier. So it's, yeah, dry all the way. Don't see a single cloud in the sky, which is good news to see. So it should be simple and straightforward, I think. I'm probably going to imagine it'll be... Well, I remember last night we had a majority of the drivers start on the hard tire. Very few drivers start on the mediums. I remember, though, in Mexico from back in 2019 or 2020, that the strategies used to be a two-stop. It used to be either soft, medium, medium, soft, medium, soft, or a medium, soft, soft, or medium, soft. But it's a bit dull in this game that now it's just basically one-stop strategies everywhere we go. It was a bit that way in F1 2021 as well, with that new patch that they had for that game, where it actually, the majority of the time, you did a soft and medium strategy no matter what track you went to. Alright, so we got the clock all ready to go, ready for the main race here in Mexico. As I mentioned, this is going to be about 36 laps here in Mexico. 36 laps. So we'll take a look and see what everyone's on in terms of tire compounds. Real quick. I have a soft hard strategy for some reason. Well, okay, well it's a bit of an even mix. Right, so yeah, fair mix of drivers on the hards, fair mix of drivers on the mediums. Interesting. Jack is going to start on pole on the hard tire, then it's Blockman on the hards, then Tom on the mediums. Nico though on the hards, so Liam on the mediums, so both McLarens are going for the same strategy. Black Bolas on the hards, followed by Verdes on the hards. Professor Phil on the mediums, then Rocket LMR on the hards, then... Why is Rebel all the way there? The Rebel's supposed to be in last. Okay. Well, Rocket LMR on 9th, then Mick in 10th, then Sparty and Take It Easy. They're all in the hard compound tire. Rodin in 13th on the mediums, Sharky in 14th on the hards, then Flavius on the mediums. Motion God on the hards, Sergeant Bill on the mediums, Surf on the hards, Style Harmony on the mediums, and Rebel on the mediums. Actually, that might have been Blockman that I was looking at, not Rebel, sorry. So we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers on the mediums, 13 drivers on the hards. So, a bit of a majority on the hards. There you go. Top 10 out of used quality tires. Yeah, oh, in 2021, yeah, that's true, of course. I know that. Yeah, that used to be a rule for a while. Like, it wasn't just like in short qualifying, you had to start on the tire that you qualified on, to set your fastest time on. Alright, everyone's all lined up, it looks like, or close to. Except for Lime, though, got disqualified for parking in the wrong way. I have no idea what I got these camera angles for. Well, we'll have to make deal with what we got, I guess. Or unless I could get a better angle. I'm just looking at these cars. Alright. Are we going? There we go. We got 10 red lights here for the Mexican Grand Prix. And we are underway for the second time here in Mexico City. It's a nice start from Tom and the McLaren. He breezes past Jack into the main straight. He takes the lead into turn 1. As well, on earth are these camera angles. Jack looking to the inside, sends it in. Contact. Oh, my goodness, that's a bit of a lag spike. Tom goes around though. Oh dear, that had to have been lag or something there. My goodness. Because, oh, it's spinning. Who is that? That's an AlphaTauri. That's Roden, who is in the Marshall post. He's trying to back up. He's going to destroy front wing. Yeah, Jack's sending in there at turn 1. I guess there was a bit of lag spike or something, and then Tom just came off worse. He's now down he's gone from the lead. Had a great start, but unfortunately, he's all the way down now to 15. His teammate didn't fare better either. He's down to 10th after the start. So it's Jack in the lead. He's already got a 1.4 second lead. There's Blockman, then Black Ball. Yellow flags are out. That's up for Lime. Oh dear, and the other McLaren that has spun this time at turn 11. Yeah, both McLarens are getting the short end of the stick on the first lap. And Jack, meanwhile, has already got a 1.3 second lead over Blockman. Black Bowler behind in third place with a 1.2 second gap. Nico behind in fourth, followed by Verdis and Sharky, who had a really good start. How many positions did he gain? He's gained 8 places. Surf's up to 8th after starting 18th. Rebel up 9 after starting from the back. Wow, that is insane. But yeah, the biggest loser of them all is both McLarens. Wow. What starts we have from some drivers, but some drivers come out for us on some other things. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Black Bowler right behind Blockman. 1 second, now it's under that. So they make their way through the S's. And Jack is starting to pull away. He's nearly got a 2 second lead already to Blockman. Nico also trying to close in as well. Trying to stay with Black Bowler. Making their way through turn 12 up towards turn 13 into the hairpin. Through 14, 15, and then into turn 16 and 17. Jack sets fastest lap 1:19.860. As now DRS has now been enabled. Surf has now overtaken Rocket and Lamar. That's for 7th place. Yeah, one Aston Martin that had a really shocking qualifying and sprint up into 7th. He's trying to fend off against the Red Bull. He does at least. Tom now overtakes Sergeant Bill and Red Bull as well at the same time, taking 2 cars into one corner at turn 1. He moves himself back up to 11th place, but he's got work to do. Yellows are out. That's for Roden in the AlphaTauri, who was spun at the S's. Sub for Lime is in the pit lane. He's trying to get off those mediums onto a set of hards after suffering, I'm guessing, some damage. Blockman, meanwhile, has still got a 1.2 second lead. 2 second margin. I guess you could say that if you don't want to count Jack. But yeah, he's trying to pull away a little bit, but Nico is trying to close in on Black Bowler, making their way down towards the stadium section. Black Bowler, if he can't get a good run through this final sector, he's going to be left vulnerable to Nico and to, actually not just Nico. Yellows are out. That is for, hold on a minute. I think that was for Flavius, or was that from Sergeant? Oh, it was Sergeant Bill that spun at the stadium section. Professor Phil goes into the pit lane. He must have suffered some damage somewhere too. Nico trying to close in with DRS on Black Ball, but not enough to close in. Still has to stay behind the AlphaTauri. Into the pits goes Professor Phil. Yeah, I already said that. Never mind that. Heading down towards the second DRS straights. 7/10 is the gap. Trying to close in. Style Harmony now overtakes Flavius for 14th place. That was at turn 1. Heading through turn 4, then turn 5. Up towards now turn 6. 2.1 seconds between Black Bowler and Blockman. Just pulling away, pulling a bit of a gap right now. Through the S's. Up towards now to the baseball stadium of turn 12. Into Florisol. 6/10 is the gap between the top 2. Between 3rd and 4th, as Black Bowler gets himself a 3-second time penalty, using all of those outside curves there at turn 15. Around the final corner now, Nico trying to use a bit of battery as well, trying to close in and use a bit of DRS down towards turn 1. But can he get close enough to attack? The answer is definitely no. Not quite close enough. And through turn 2. Turn 3. And down towards turn 4. 6.5 tenths. Nah, not quite close enough to attack. Just has to stay behind. Meanwhile, behind, Surf is trying to overtake Sharky in 6th place, hanging around turn 6. So far, the only driver that's got a penalty is Black Bulla in 3rd. And we saw what happened there, using all the outside curve there at turns 14 and 15. Through the S's. Surf trying to close in. Oh, but Sharky and Style Harmony now pick up 3-second time penalties, this time for multiple warnings. Sharky using all the curves of the S's. Style Harmony, I think, might have done that leading into turn 7, as Rebel now overtakes, or he's trying to overtake Spy into the baseball swing, who's got end plate damage, apparently, to his Mercedes. Oh, no, he does not. I couldn't see it from the graphic, to be fair. I thought for whatever reason he had damage. Yeah, please ignore that. Anyway, down the main straightaway. Flavius losing a couple spots. Yellow flags are out. That's because he spun, I believe. Oh, hello, Tom. Where on earth did you come from? Around the outside of turn 1. Haynes at turn 2 and 3. My goodness, I didn't even notice him. He just like came out of nowhere for me. He's now moved himself up into 7th place, trying to move up some spots after his incident with Jack on the first lap. Oh, and a bit of a moment there from Sharky at the exit of turn 4, leading to turn 5. Hey, up towards turns 7. Oh, what? Eh? Oh, geez, he lost a bit of time there. Okay, where are you on track? Are you lagging? You're lagging like crazy for me. Gee whiz. I couldn't tell where he was on track. Because he like went from one of the S's to the other, as now Rocket and Lamar overtakes Surf. As Sergeant Bill now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Surf, no, not giving up. Oh, that was so tight. But they both get through that. That's the main thing. Jack sets fastest lap again with a 1:19.772. Surf will have DRS. Not Rocket Lamar though. But knowing Rocket Lamar, he does have straight line speed. As yellow flags are out again. That's Motion God. Actually, Surf might. Oh! Lock up there from Rocket Lamar. Sector 2 and 3 yellow flags. That's for Sublime. That is spun. Oh, and the spin too for the Aston Martin of Surf. He's gone into the wall. How does he not have damage from that? No bit of wing damage came off of that car. How did he survive that? What? Gee whiz. Well, meanwhile, Nico's overtaking Black Bull. That must have happened a little while ago when I wasn't looking. That might have happened at turn 1 from when that happened. He's now pulled a bit of a gap to Black Bull. He's now got a bit of a nearly a second. Yeah, I don't even know what on earth I just see there. Ooh, a bit of a moment there from Nico, losing the back end of the exit of turn 15. Now around the final corner, now back out, down to the main straightaway. And Black Bull will get DRS down this main straight. As Tom now sets fastest lap with a 1:19.461. Up to turn 1. Not close enough to attack Nico. Through turn 2, then into turn 3. Using all the curve there as well. Rebel overtaking Take Her Easy, that's for 10th place. At turn 1, it's close between the Ferrari and the Alpine. But the Alpine should have the advantage, and he does. Just gets ahead into 10th. And he'll have DRS to at least stay ahead. At least for now. And a bit of a lockup as well here in the tire squeal there. Through the S's, sector 2 and 3 yellow flags. That I think is from Roden, I believe. Yes, it is. Blockman now gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That is definitely what it doesn't need. He's now got a 3-second time penalty. That was for probably using all the curb at turns 14 and 15. Kind of like the same thing I saw Black Bola do. So what he has to pray for is no safety car to come out. Black Bull, I don't think we'll have DRS on this occasion. From the way it looks, and no, he does not. But he is closing on Nico still. Probably has a tiny bit more straight line speed compared to the Williams. Okay, through turn 1, down to turns 2 and 3. As Roden has retired in the pits, he's had enough. Bit of a shocking race for Roden, unfortunately. But yeah, it's all come to an end for him now. Hey, through turn 5, down to turn 6. Nico maintaining a second gap between himself and Black Baller. Now the one thing I have noticed, as the AI are just doiling on the racetrack, that's why the yellow flags are out. As Black Baller now gets a 3-second time penalty, he's now he's got 6 seconds in his name. Sharky, I think, has just spun. Yes, he has. At the middle of turn 9. Oh my god! Oh, gee whiz. That was super close. Thankfully, the ghosting system kicked in. He was nearly going to be rammed over by Styled Harmony. But he's got also a missing front wing in the process. So, Sergeant Bill had a bit of a moment. He used all the curve there at the baseball stadium. I was gonna say about the undercut and overcut strategy here in Mexico. It seems like, from what I witnessed from last night, as Style Harmony now overtakes Sparty, the one thing I have noticed is that if you go long on the hard tires, apparently the overcut seems to be the better way. If, like, let's say the car behind does pit, try to go for an undercut, it doesn't seem like it works too often. Obviously, that kind of makes a bit of sense, since the undercut isn't really too effective, thanks to you trying to get tire temperature. As I think Flavius has had a bit of a moment. I saw him cause yellow flags, I think. But no damage, I think, from what I could see on the Williams. Tom, meanwhile, is battling Veritas. He's also got Black Bull and not too far in front of him either. Trying to make up any sort of ground he lost. Like I mentioned, after what happened between himself and Jack at turn 1 on the very first lap. He'll have DRS, and I don't think there's anything Veritas can do about this sort of situation. Yep. Just breezes past the Red Bull. Now he moves himself up into the top 5. Next target for him will be the AlphaTauri of Black Bola. As Lil Mick, Rocket LMR side by side heading through turns 1 and 2. The Haas stay in front at least. Oh, that is super tight between those two. But the Haas stays in front, gets DRS. Rocket doesn't have DRS, so he's kind of left a bit in no man's land to get that. Rebel is also catching this little train as well. And a nice little air shot as well, looking over a little bit of the racetrack here in Mexico. Tom has also closed it on Black Bola now to 6.5 tenths is the gap, making their way down towards the stadium section. Rebel coming through the S section, right behind Rocket LMR and Mick. Heading up towards now turn 12. Tom is half a second behind Black Bola. He will have a healthy amount of DRS to help him out, and a little bit of a healthy amount of battery. Actually, he doesn't really necessarily need it. Just breezes past. He's now up into 4th, ahead of Tom, or ahead of Black Bola, sorry. Of course, he'll get the compliment of another bit of DRS, as now there's yellow flags again. This time, that looks like to be Sharky, and again destroying his front wing at the exit of turn 11. Flavius goes into the pit lane. Hold the tire graphic up for a bit. Yellows are out. That's for an Alfa Romeo that will be Oh, that's a safety. Is that a safety car or a VSC? I think that's a VSC. It's a virtual safety car because of Stella Harmony spinning out and destroys front wing. Sharky gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Jack doesn't take advantage of the VSC. He stays out. So does Blockman. Tom has to take advantage of this VSC. He needs to. Get off of those tires, get onto a set of hearts. And that's exactly what he's doing. He would have been in a more better spot if it didn't what happened on the first lap. Imagine that, though. But he's taking advantage of it now. He's on a set of hard compound tires. He'll go to the end of the race from here. In fact, he's the only driver, I think, that took advantage of this virtual safety car. No one else is pitted. I mean, fair enough, because a few of them are still on the hard compound tire from the start of the race. He comes out in 9th, so he's behind Rebel, Rocket Lamar, and Mick. And of course, Vetters and Sergeant Bill now picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding the pits. Oh, he had to go to a dead stop because of the Delta. Oh, that is so screwed him. The Delta was literally screwing him by he went over the Delta, had to go to a dead stop in turns 2 and 3, and as a result, Take Her Easy nearly got close to him. This is why I hate this game at times too as well. The VSC is so untrustworthy because of just how inconsistent it is, and that just proves it exactly what happened to Tom. Yeah, I reckon he just went over the Delta. Oh, hang on, yellow flag. Sergeant Bill is spun yet again at turn 2 this time, not turn 3 like he did before. Well, yes, there you go. Both Alfa Romeos, yeah. Sergeant Bill's spinning out at turn 2. Thankfully, though, no damage to his car. I guess this sort of occasion. Yeah, this game is so unbelievably stupid with that stuff. It really is. Heading through turn 2 and turn 3. Rebel will have DRS down towards turn 4. Trying to close in. Not by enough, though, to attack. As they now make their way out of turn 4. Other than that, though, it seems like the field is somewhat spread out a little bit. From the way it looks. Oh, and I think Mick had a bit of a moment there coming out of turn 6. So the closest battle we've really got on track, well, is Rebel and Rocket Lamar, and Sparty and Take Her Easy. Out of the S's, heading down towards this Floresol baseball stadium. Now into the hairpin of turn 13, 14, and then 15, and then 16 and 17 through Mansell Corner. Rocket, though, gets a really good amount of exit speed at the exit of turn 17. And all the traction in the world. But unfortunately, that's going to be ruined thanks to Rebel having a ridiculous amount of straight line speed. He was literally over 6/10 behind him. And he just overtook him like it was nothing. Yellow flags are out. That's for Professor Phil at the baseball stadium. Now we got yellow flags again, this time for Sergeant Bill, spinning out at the S's. Yeah, what amazes me more is what happened with... Oh, and Sharky. Oh, he's crashed. Is that going to bring out a safety car? There it is. Our first safety car of the race has come out. Sharky has crashed out at turn 11. Right on board with Mick. There he is there, right hand side. Lost control of the car and smashes it into the wall. And as a result, he is now officially out. Into the pits goes Blobman. Blobman's on soft... Hang on a minute. He's on soft tires. Surf getting a drive-through penalty, speeding under the under the safety car. Oh dear. Well, that's costly for him. Nico's in for medium tires, black ball on the medium. Same with Veritas. And Mick, same story. He'll go onto the hard tire. Where does Tom come out of all this sort of situation? He comes out in front of Black Bola, but he's just behind Nico. Oh dear, well, Blockman has really screwed himself. This is the second time I've seen him do something like this. As Rebel gets past Rocket and Lamar. Or, actually, no, that already happened, never mind. No, they came out of the pits, they put on the medium tires. Take her easy also was in the pits as well, he's on the mediums, but... Yeah, no, this is the second time I've seen Blockman do this sort of thing. Oh, this is screwed Jack big time. I've just noticed too. The safety car came out well before he got to the exit line. Oh dear. So that means he has to go into the pit lane, and he's gonna drop some. Oh, hello. The Army gets out of the way. Well, there you go. And Jack gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He crossed over the pit lane entry, and as a result, he's got now a 3-second time penalty. Although, Blockman... Wait a minute. Blockman's got... he's got lap traffic in front of him. Rocket Lamar now gets a drive-through penalty for speed, as Jack now moves on to the soft tires as well, like Blockman did. No way in hell you're going to go to the end on those tires. No way. I mean, knowing Jack, he could probably do whatever he wants. Rocket's now got 2 drive-through. What is he doing? How has he got 2 drive-throughs already? Fires in the pits. He's on medium tires. What on earth is he doing? Who's got drive-throughs that I haven't caught? Surf's got drive-through. Actually, I saw that one. But Rocket's got 2 of them. Okay, yeah. So he's got 2 drive-through penalties for whatever reason. Sparty overtaking, take her easy. He must have gone before the pit lane line, I guess. So because of that whole event, Jack's now moved down from the lead and down to 6th. So him and Blockman are on softs. I know those tires are not making it. No way. Well, they won't be at their optimal performance. Professor Phil's at the same story in 17th. He's on the soft compound tire. I mean, I guess why not? What have you got to lose? But... yeah. No, this is really gonna screw Blockman over, I think. Because he did this exact same thing in Spain, where he pitted on, well, when the safety car came out, he pitted for soft tires when we were on lap 10 as Rebel and, what on earth are these two doing? Seems to be exchanging places between Rebel and Rocket and Lamar. Hey, calm yourself, you two. But, yeah, he had to go to a 2-stop strategy, obviously. Because he pitted on lap 10 or 11, something like that. When he started hards at Spain, he did the exact same thing, did 2-stop strategy, but it sort of ruined his chances of winning the race, if I'm totally honest. And I think he's done the exact same thing again. And not only to that sort of thing, he's also got a 3-second time penalty. Nico does not have a 3-second time penalty, and neither does Tom. Really, I think who's in the best chance of winning this is Nico. Unless somehow Jack can claw his way through. There was a tactic, though, I remember, from what he did back in Spain in the America Series Tier 1, where he, like, pitted to the medians and he knew that, well, from the distance he was at, he had to conserve the tires. He might have to do that here. Save the block, man. But anyway, safety car is in this lap. So, why on earth are they crawling that slowly? Oh dear, this is going to cause a mess, isn't it? This happens all the time whenever we go to Mexico. It causes a whole heap of havoc here during a safety car race. So, Blockman is going unreasonably slow. He needs to get a move on. That is not really ideal, if I'm totally honest. Anyway, we're back under green. It seems like Tom's got caught sleeping a bit. Yeah, that was a bit of an unorthodox restart, as into the pits goes Rocket LMR and Surf to serve their drive-through penalties. Yellow flags are out. That's for Sergeant Bill in the Alfa Romeo that spun at the exit of the final corner. And he once again does the exact same thing. Blockman weaving about, trying to get temperature into those tires. Down the inside goes Jack in the Haas into turn 4, sorry. He moves himself up to 4th. As Black Baller now gets himself another 3-second time penalty. He's got 9 seconds added to his name. Next target for him will be Tom in the McLaren. He now has to try to get by him. Oh my goodness me! As Jack nearly had a moment there, coming out of turn 8. Heading down towards turn 12. He might have to he might send it here, maybe. No, he doesn't, not quite. Yellow flags are out, that might, it's motion guard. Yet again, this time at the S's. Looks like that was at turn 7 or 8, I think. Well, Blockman's now leading. He's leading by 1.3 seconds. That's fastest lap as well in the process, with a 1 minute 18.862. Nico's only about 1.4 seconds behind. He can't carry those tires to the end. I don't think Blockman can. Here comes Jack to the inside of turn 1, locking up a little bit, but he gets through ahead of the McLaren. He now moves up into 3rd. Next target for him will be Nico in the Williams, as Sublime now overtakes the other Williams of Flavius. Williams up into 11th place. And into the pits goes Motion God and Rocket LMR. So Motion God had damage. Rocket LMR serving his 2nd drive-through penalty. Heading through turn 6, down towards turns 7, 8, and 9. Jack all over the back of the Williams, heading through turn 10, 11. Getting all the grip that he has on those soft compound tires. Not quite close enough to attack the Williams, heading through turn 12, up towards turn 13. Blockman's already got a 1.9 second advantage over Nico. Heading through the baseball stadium. Out of the baseball stadium. Yellow flags are out. That looks like to be for Sergeant Bill. As Jack now sets fast up with a 1:18.1. Blitzes that. And here he comes on the Williams. Not much of what it looks like that Nico can do. He now moves down to 3rd. Jack moves up to 2nd. Now Jack's next target will be Blockman. And he's doing, is he on a battery? Yeah, he is. Of course he is. Because I did see the flashing red light on the back of the Haas. So he's used up a fair chunk of his battery. Rocky Lamar overtaking Sergeant Bill. Heading through turn 6, up towards now turn 7. Nico right now, 9/10 is the gap between, as Sergeant Bill has retired in the pits. He's had enough. So now he becomes our 3rd retirement of the race. 2nd one in the pit line. Heading through turn 12. Down towards turn 13. Through the hairpin. Jack, though, will not get DRS on this occasion. And neither will Nico. So he's a bit screwed on that front. Jack, though, sets another fastest lap, a 1:17.866. So I think, what do they got to do? About nearly 20 laps on those soft tires, Blockman and Jack. That's honestly a bit of a stretch. Well, he's now closing in. He doesn't have DRS, obviously. Heading through turn 4 down to turn 5. Blockman is going to be under heaps of pressure on the Haas behind him. Around turn 6, up towards turn 7, down to 5th. Keeps it 5th, up to 6th. Ooh, that's a bit of a too much curve, I think. That might be a warning there, I think. Heading down this third DRS straight. Heading into the baseball stand, turn 12. Into turn 13. Oh, a bit wide. A bit of a lock up there from Jack. He makes his way around the final couple of turns. And he'll come down the main straight, and he is hounding the back of that Alpine, and he will have DRS. No battery though to use. I don't think that's gonna matter anyway, because look at the speed he's getting. No battery life. Who gives a who cares? I was gonna say who gives a damn. Anyway, he now moves up into the lead of the race again. And of course, you'll have a complement of DRS as well to help him out, thanks to the only one detection zone. Heading through turn 4, down towards turn 5. Blockman. What he needs to do is hang on to the back of that Haas as best as he possibly can. Those tires, I know, are not going to be feeling up to their performance towards the end. They definitely will not. Yeah, doing about nearly 20 laps on those tires is too much of a stretch. As Jack now picks up another penalty, he's now got 6 seconds added to his name with another 3-second time penalty. Although in fairness, the Blockman still keeping up, especially with Jack's pace, to his fair credit. Out of the final corner, back down to the main straightaway. Opens DRS. Blockman will try to close up on Jack. And he is closing in some knots of speed, but he's not closing enough. He has to stay behind. Nico just minding his own business at third, as Verdes now overtakes Blackbola for 5th place as they make their way through turns 2 and 3. That overtake happened at turn 1. You'll of course have another complement of DRS thanks to the one detection zone. Stays ahead. Yeah, Jack has not really managed to pull away yet from Jack at least. He's got 6 tenths, 6.5 tenths. Oh, jeez. Blockman was not very cooperative through those corners. He had a bit of moments there through the S's. At least from what I could see. Heading through turns 14, 15. Now down to turns 16 and 17. Jack now goes back into pit lane and gets a 5-second time penalty and retires, and he's had enough. Okay. Well, I guess he got bored or something. Alright. Okay. Whatever he wants to do, I suppose. He's left the session as well. Style harmony, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. So that leaves now Blockman in the lead, but he's got 3 seconds to his name. Nico doesn't have any still, and he's still on those old soft tires, 9-lap old softs. Yellows are out as well for who is that? Someone in the S of the motion god, and the other one is for Blockman's AI coming out on track. Heading through the S's. Nico trying to maintain a 3-second margin to Blockman as best as he possibly can. But I know towards the end, Nico will have the tire advantage. He also has to remember about Tom as well. Those hards definitely can make it from when he pitted. He pitted on lap 13 for those tires. Blockman now goes in, so he's had enough of those tires. He goes back into the pit lane. He'll put on another set of tires. And that means now Nico takes the lead of the race. He's got about a 2.2 second margin to Tom. But from what I've been judging though on Nico and Tom's comparison in terms of pace, Nico seems to be better through the middle sector compared to Tom. Tom though has a car that can go down the straights compared to the Williams. So there's a bit of an even comparison in some cases. But I can't help to feel that Tom might have the tire advantage, I feel like, at the end of this race. Black ball on to Verdis at least. Rebel is trying to close in on Mick, making the way through the S section. So far it seems like Rebel could be in line for driver of the day. He started from 20th. He's right now currently in 6th place. Has the potential probably to get 5th if he can get by Mick. Sparry's also had a decent race as well, to his fair credit. So Blockman now coming to the inside. Sublime! Oh, dearie me! He was nearly close to that Mercedes-Benz, to his fair credit. So he's now gone from the soft tire to the mediums. So he's used every single compound out there. Oh, jeez. Sparry covers the outside a little bit. Bit aggressive, if I'm totally honest. Rebel overtakes the Haas. He's up into 5th. And here comes Blockman to the right-hand side. And yeah, Sparty can't do anything about that. Now he's moved himself up into 8th. But he's got a lot of work to do. Down the second DRS straight. Blockman has DRS yet again. Not close enough though to attack. Not yet at least. A through turn 5 to turn 6. Now into turn 7. Through the S as we go. Oh, he had to stop there because Tigreezy had a bit of a compromised line there. Blockman though will get DRS. He should be able to overtake him now, thanks to the fresher tires. Yep. Gets by the Ferrari. He's now up into 7th place. Black ball still hanging on to Verdis, but doesn't have any sort of resources to help him out, does he? Saw the flashing red light on the back of the AlphaTauri. I mean, even though that's the case, I don't think him overtaking Verdis would even matter anyway because of his 3-second time penalty. Blockman now trying to pull away, at least from the pack behind. A through now turns 4 and 5. Got a bit of a train for me at least. Ignore the Aston Martin, that's Motion God, who is unfortunately a lap down. But it seems like right now this is the closest battle we've got on track. It's a battle for 8th place. Yeah, Blockman's just pretty much just long gone between those guys. He's got about now a 2.3 second margin to take her easy. So for Lime, Sparty, the two admins, trying to go at it at turn 12. Doesn't go for any sort of move. Hanging through turn 12, 13, sorry, then 14, then 15. I think Sublime will be able to get their advantage, considering that Sparty in front of him does not have DRS. Down the main straightaway. Barry life is low on that Mercedes, and there goes the McLaren. Nothing much Sparty can do about that. Sublime now moves up into 9th place. And of course he'll have another complement of DRS, thanks to the 1 DRS detection zone. Pulls away, there you go. Helping him out a little bit. Next target for him though will be Take Her Easy. Little mix still hanging on the back of Rebel, but Little Mick, though, is in a predicament situation, considering that he's also got a 3-second time penalty. Might as well get the penalties up, I guess, for all the audiences. So for Lee now, the whole battle of who has the most penalties is Black Bola, with 9 seconds with the penalties. Meanwhile, the top two have closed the gap a little bit, just by a couple of tenths, about 2 seconds separating Nico and Tom. As we moved on to lap 30 of 36, we've got about 7 more laps to go in this race. Mick with DRS, closing in. Not quite though close enough to attack the Alpine of Rebel. Heading through turns 2 and 3. Another compliment of DRS for the Haas, but still not quite close enough. Set to 1 yellow flag, so I was on my phone for a bit. I think that was motion god again, yep. Spinning out at turn 3. 1.9 seconds is the gap between the top two, between Nico and Tom. I'm guessing that somewhere in this phase, the medium tires are going to be vulnerable now to the hards. Because I think now the hards might be switching on for Tom. Yeah, he's got 18 laps on the hards. Nico, though, has done 15. So Nico's got to do another 6 laps. So essentially, he's got to do about 21 laps on these tires. That's also a bit of a stretch. But I mean, Tom's also got to do... Let's see, he's on 18 laps on those hards. So he's got to do about... Oh, what is that? 25 laps he's got to do? 24? Something like that? Nah, 24. I almost just can't do math apparently. Yeah, it's now gone down to 1.5 seconds separated between Tom and Nico. Yeah, the gap is starting to shrink a little bit. Little Mick and Rebel are still battling out for 5th. It's not even game yet between these guys. If Rebel does get a penalty, it will be even game. So far, not really on this sort of occasion. Heading down towards turn 12. Little Mick, not quite close enough though to attack. I think we're now reaching the phase of what we had last night, where Mexico becomes a bit dull and everything. The phase of Formula 1, where you get these sort of packs of cars that are so spread out and whatnot. Felt that way last night a little bit, and it's starting to feel that way now towards the end of this race. Heading down towards turn 1, not quite close enough for Mick to attack. Considering right now this is the closest battle we've got on track at least. Heading down towards now turn 4, not quite close enough to attack is the Haas. Although the gap between the top two is starting to shrink a bit more. It's now gone down to 1.4 seconds between Tom and Nico. 1.3 to be exact. I bet those tires for maybe both of them on life support. Particularly Nico. Since he is going to have to do another fair few laps of this race. He's got to do another 5, or yeah, at least another, not 5 more. 4 more. Heading up towards turns 2 and 3. Now, what Tom needs to not do is get a penalty. Same story with Nico. If that does happen, well, that could be game changer for both of them. Or either one of them. Blockman's now on the back of Mick and his teammates, making their way towards turn 4. Mick has DRS, same with Blockman. Oops. Not close enough, though, to attack. out of turn 5. Now heading down towards turn 6. Yeah, he can't really do much in this section. What Blockman needs is a good run coming through the S section. And, oh, that's tight between him and the Haas. Having to back out just a little bit. DRS wide open for both. Blockman, not quite close enough. Heading to the hairpin. And now the gap between the top two has shrunk to now less than a second. And Thomas got DRS. Nico is going to be under a serious amount of pressure from the McLaren behind him. Tom has done 21 laps on those hards. Nico has done 18 laps on those mediums. Heading down towards turn 4. And he's got battery to play with. You can see that on his telemetry on his dash, or dash rather, on the steering wheel. He's got about maybe 40 something percent. Motion God gets a penalty, 48% is what it is. Heading up towards now turns 7, 8, and 9. Blockman now overtakes little Mick, sorry. That is for 6th place. He's now ahead of him. Next target will be his teammate. Half a second though separating between the top two. Heading down towards the stadium section. Tom closing in bit by bit, lap by lap in this second stint. Heading through the hairpin of turn 13, through 14, up towards turn 15 and then into turn 16 and 17. Blockman now overtakes his teammate. He's now up into 5th place. Tom will get DRS, heading down the main straightaway. And I think Nico is going to be left vulnerable. There, Nico goes to defend the right side, but there is literally nothing he can do about this. Tom now retakes the lead here in Mexico. After what happened between himself and Jack, he's now moved back into the lead of the race. Meanwhile, Rebel is now re-overtaking his teammate. This time at the main straight. Blockman is going to get overtaken by Mick as well, heading through turn 1. Oh, that is super tight between the two. It looks like Blockman manages to stay ahead, at least for now. Mick, though, will get DRS down towards turn 4, but can't do anything here on this occasion. Yeah, and this is a genuine fight for position between Mick and Blockman, considering they're both on 3-second penalties. 7 tenths is the gap between the top two. Nico has got to send it here on this final sector and get DRS to help him out and try to close it on Tom. The fight, I don't think it's quite over just yet. But those tires are definitely struggling for the Williams. Tom gets a really lovely exit as we now head to the final lap of the race. Tom with the lead, 7.5 tenths is the gap. Nico has DRS, here he comes, closing in. 6 tenths, 5 tenths, 4.5 tenths, not close enough. Through turn 2, into turn 3. Missing the curves there as well. Doesn't use a lot of them. Up towards now turn 4. DRS again wide open for the Williams, but again, he is not close enough. He is going to have to pray for Tom to make a mistake, any mistake, whether it's spinning out or he gets a penalty. Through turn 6. Up towards now turn 7. Into turn 8. Nico using a lot of the curb. Doesn't get a penalty though. Tom's going through the S section relatively unscathed. He just needs to now nail the baseball stadium. One more section to go for Tom if he wants to take victory. As the confetti flies here in the baseball stadium here in Mexico. Couple more corners to negotiate as Lil Mick gets a 3-second time penalty. And it looks like the McLaren's gone through relatively fine. Tom will cross the line and he takes victory here in Mexico. He wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Verdes will take 3rd. Nico takes 2nd place. Those tires just didn't have enough life at the end. Black Bowler will take 3rd. Rebel will take 4th actually. Blockman takes 5th. Ahead of Black Bowler, considering Black Bowler had 9 seconds worth of penalties. Lil Mick will stay 7th, Take Her Easy in 8th, then Sublime will complete 8th and 9th. Sparty, I think, will hang on for 10th if he can. Comes across the line if Surf gets a penalty. Style Harmony gets 11th. Surf gets another penalty, I think, there. Professor Phil crosses the line. He'll take 11th place away from Style Harmony from penalties. Flavius and Rocket LMR and Surf look like they'll be the final point scoring places. Because the top 15 in the race spec do score points. Now we just wait for Motion God to come across the line and finish it all off. Alright, there we are. That is the end of the race. A very interesting race here in Mexico. Had some moments as Rebel gets driver of the day. Starting from last, finishing in 5th. That's a very big recovery by the Alpine. I will give him credit for that. What was it for? Like, I'll have to look back again. But anywho, Tom takes victory. After what happened to him and Jack on the first lap, or whatever lag spike happens, recovers very well, pushed very hard, and, well, he just kept his head down, and he won the race, just like that. Nico did everything he could to keep intact, stay in front, but unfortunately those mediums just didn't have enough pace towards the end of the race. Fairness though, he should be happy though with 3rd, getting the podium here. Very nicely done there by the Red Bull driver. And the first win for Tom as well. Gets the 31 points for the championship. Or actually, sorry, he gets the win overall on the race weekend. Sorry, I forgot. Gotta remember race spec points. So, overall standings is this. Tom wins it overall. Nico gets 2nd. Blockman, though, gets 3rd, apparently, from the race weekend. So, Verdes finishes 4th, although they were tied with points. Oh, I see. The only reason why is because Blockman had a better qualifying place. Maybe that's why. Rebel 5th, Black Bull, Jack, Sublime, Mick, Take Her Easy, Professor Phil, Sparty, Flyers, Rocket, LMR, Surf, Motion God, Sergeant Bill, Starkey, Roden. And then these are the race results as well. And also Jack gets fastest lap, so that will go to Haas for the extra points. But yeah, even though Verdes did get the podium, Blotman got the overall count back thanks to his race at the sprint, finishing better than him at the sprint. Okay, well, I might as well go ahead and see if we can get... I guess we can see if we can get Nico in here. I'll try to see if I can do that. Let's see. I guess I'll have to search up his name. Shoot. There he is. I think he should be at it. Yeah, there we go. If he wants to, that is. He doesn't. I mean, I guess we could have Blockman in here if he wants. I mean, he did finish 3rd overall in the countback. So, if he wants to, that is. Alright, well. We'll just wait a little bit. If they don't do anything, then... Oop. We're all in virtual showroom there. Oh, yeah. But no, good job to Tom as well. Very big recovery after what happened to him on the first lap. Not easy to recover something like that. Especially around a track like Mexico. But yeah, no, thanks to his ridiculous pace. Managed to claw back up and win the race. So, I mean, if I did have access to Xbox players somehow, I would get them in here, but yeah. I'll just see if they want to join. I mean, hey, I'm not racist. That's just how the platforms work. Tell you what, maybe next time I'll get a freaking Xbox Series or something like that. That would help out, I guess. Alright, well, I guess they're not really coming in here from the way it looks, so I guess that's it. So, we'll just go ahead and wrap up the stream then. Yeah, I've given them at least a minute, but yeah, there's no response, so yeah. Oh, hang on, Blockman's responding in the Discord. Alright, fair enough. Alright, fair enough. If he doesn't feel that way, doesn't feel that way. Alright. So with that then, I guess we'll wrap up the stream here. So, that'll conclude the America Open Series and all the weekend series here on Race Spec Esports. So we move on to the regionals coming up on Tuesday. But for the Americas Open, we will have to wait until next weekend. Until then, I've been K1997. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you for round 5 of the championship at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So, until then, it is goodbye and take care.